Hello, everyone. This is David from BillMate, and today we learn how to create a paying form. So, what's a paying form? It's simply a form at the end of which you need to pay in order to complete. So, for this, you'll see it's fairly simple. We'll create a paying form for one of our facial service, or it could be for more than one, but in this case, we're simply going to use one. So, you simply go into a new web page and you select the forms section, obviously, because you're trying to create a form. And since we said this was for facial peeling, let's say this was for facial services. Let's say. Now, I know my facial peeling item has already been created, but I could, so right here, facial peeling. If I wanted to, I could select more than one. And once the form is done, completing, they would be led to all three of these items. But in this case, I simply want to lead them to facial peeling. So I'm simply going to select facial peeling and add. So now, once I go to the form section, right here, facial services, I do see the page I've just created. And I can select it and add the questions I want them to fill out. So right here in questions, I click on add a new question, and you have a lot of choices: short text, paragraph, multiple choices, and so on. I want to bring your attention to these questions at the bottom. Whenever you see a logo like this, which is the same logo that we see in front of the CRM, it means that the answer to these questions will correspond to a new profile that is created with the form. Now, every time someone fills in a form or fills out a form, well, that creates a new profile for them. So that means that if David fills out a form, you would like David to have a profile directly in the CRM. And for that, you need to collect some information on the person that fills the form, David. So when you select a question like this, create contact name, for example, and you write, what's your full name? The answer to this question will create a profile, and the first name and the last name of that profile will be whatever the person answered right there. So let's create that question. Then right here you have it. Now, if I want to create a second question, and I do not want this question to result in the creation of a profile, well, I can select any of these that do not have the person logo, the same logo that we see in front of the CRM. So, for example, short text, and I say, what do you like about BillMate? Yeah, there you go. Right question. Well, that will not be a part of the profile creation. That will simply be a question that shows. Now, I'll show you an example to make it as clear as possible. When I click on the CRM and I access Gia Monet's file, well, right here, Gia Monet, there was a profile that was created for her because the answers to the question first name and last name, when there was a little logo person, right, like this one, the person answered Gia Monet. But right here, you can see that in the questionnaire, we ask also what's the parent's name right here and what's the last name for the parent. That did not, it's Chrissy Monet. That did not create a file for Chrissy Monet because the question that was used did not have the little logo like this one right here in front of it. Therefore, the answer is simply shown on the forms within the profile of Gia Monet. Now, once that is done, I can go back on my webpage and facial services right here. You see my questions are here. And before I actually publish the page, I encourage you to look at the inclusions. Within there's a lot of interesting things. For example, do you want to hide your business logo? Do you want to remove the header? Do you want to require the full payment to complete the form? You most likely will want to click yes, since this is a paying form. You might not, but if you do, you click yes. And once you go back on your inclusions, you can see that it's been checked. Do you want to enable the afterpay? Do you want to add the pay later tab, for example, so they don't have to pay you don't require the full payment? And what should be the default language of your web page? So all this can be obviously modified. So I encourage you to go and take a look. Obviously, you have your URL that you can share anywhere and create to your liking. And whenever people click on there, they'll be led to your form and then to the facial peeling service that we selected in the beginning so that they could make a booking reservation. And once they make their booking, they'll receive the confirmation. You receive the confirmation and the payment, and so on and so. And you can also have it embedded directly into your webpage if you do have one. So you have the choice of both the URL and the embedding. So that's how you go about creating a paying form. Thank you, guys.